Hey guys, Doug. I was talking to a gentleman about occluded shooting. He wasn't aware of the concept, so I'm gonna go over that really fast here for you guys today. So occluded shooting is when you occlude the optic. So what we've done here is we've taken a piece of masking tape and put it over the objective lens. That's the lens facing the target or the pointed direction of the firearm. The back lens is completely clear, just normal glass. This is a Trijicon RCR. You can do this with any optic that has an illuminated reticle. So you can do this with a red dot, you can do this with a holographic, you can do this with a magnified optic like an ACOG if you have an illuminated reticle to reference. So as you can see, we have it occluded, but the dot is turned on to the normal brightness. You can typically get away with about 1 or 2 levels of brightness lower, but I've already got my brightness set pretty appropriately, so we've got what we need here. Now, how does this work? Good question. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the target the same way that we would normally with both eyes open. Your brain is then going to take the image from your left eye and superimpose it in your brain to give you everything you need. If you're focused on the target, if you're focused on your dot, your whole world's gonna kind of just go blue. So I'll do that for you really fast. Right now I see everything I need to see. I can see the entire camera in detail. If I focus on the dot, everything goes blue, or everything else becomes much harder to notice. The same way that you don't really notice the blue tint of the tape, but you can kind of be aware of it when you're focused on the target, you then become very aware of the blue tape and very less aware of the target. It makes it very obvious when you're focused on the dot rather than focused on the target. That's its benefit to you. It also seems to make it more intuitive for people to focus on the target and present the gun accordingly, whether it's a rifle or a handgun. I've had so many shooters that were brand new that had a hard time figuring out aiming with a rifle. And then when you occlude the front of the optic, they immediately, and I mean without any other instruction or advice or guidance, they immediately are like, oh, I get it. And then they take off and they're fine. But that for whatever reason, their inclinations or their assumptions immediately are like confused. They can't really figure out what's going on, how to hold it. And then you tape the front of that optic, you kind of take that dominant eye away from them and they're like, oh, I immediately understand what I'm supposed to do now. Don't understand what's going on in the human brain to make it that way, but it seems to be the way things work. So, or at least for some people, it's very helpful to just make everything make sense basically immediately. So definitely try it out. Some people will find that in live fire, they have a pretty significant point of impact deviation with occlusion. Something in their brain or eyes is not bringing that image together true to life, and they see a massive point of impact deviation. That doesn't matter. So in this context, what we're practicing on, if your brain is that way, don't worry about it. Just work on the visual cues you're looking for, and you can do that in dry fire just fine, just to make it make sense what you're trying to accomplish, and then you can take the tape off for live fire and then implement those same things you've learned with the occluded optic in dry fire. Of course, clear gun, save direction, all that fun jazz. So what we're gonna do is a simple, basically like a variation on the Blake drill, but we have a target with 2 blue masking tape markers, a little blue on blue action here. One in the chest A box and one in the hay, oh my goodness gracious. So we're gonna go 2, 2, 2, and we're gonna try to do that in about 1.8. We have a 1.5 second part time on the shot timer with a 0.3 second beep as always. So the end of the beep is about 1.8 seconds. Let's see if we can make that happen for you guys. Okay, that was all right, but we're gonna try to get that a little bit better on the confirmation. All right, the first set of shots was kind of sloppy, clean on up top, clean on the second shot in the chest. Let's see if we can do that better. All right, better. All right, guys, go ahead and take that. Obviously, make sure your weapon's clear, make sure you're in a safe direction. And I hope it helps you out. If you guys have any more questions about visual focus, I have videos on the subject. I have an entire dry session posted where I go over grip consistency and visual focus, as well as people on YouTube like Professor Kim have incredible visual focus content. I will post one of their videos probably in the description below. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Shalom.